So I started making my videos about a month and a half ago, roughly. And I had this woman around here. She's been really nice. I've had quite a few women, so I kind of enter into the feminine side of life. I connected to God. That was like I don't know if it was a birth or a death. I think kind of a little bit of both. Somewhere along the way, I was reborn. I died, so I connected to God. I hit a high point in life, and then I died. And was reborn. And before I died, I was connected to a lot of men, older but masculine men, independent men, who knew themselves and what they had, and they were godly men, you could say. And I kind of died and was reborn, and there's been lots of women in my life helping me along or taking care of me and stuff. In a spiritual sense or something. It's just as if they almost treat me as if I was a kid, or their kid or something, I don't know. They just give me that motherly type of love, and I've received that intuition and stuff from them. That guidance or whatever from the feminine side of life. Ever since I started my videos and began, I quit my addictions, quit masturbating and porn and stuff. I've noticed a lot of changes with women and the way they behave around me. But yesterday, here a week or so ago, might have been a couple weeks ago, I made some videos and I was kind of proud of them or happy of them or whatever. I don't know. And I wanted to share them. I was kind of like a kid, man, drawing goddamn pictures or something. Or like, hey, mommy, look. So I don't know. I wanted to share them with somebody, and I sent one of these women. I sent her a link. I was like, hey, you might enjoy these or whatever. It was kind of bullshit. I don't know why I did it. It felt weird at the time. It felt like I was being like a kid, just like a kid trying to show something off or something. And I kind of got the feeling that she wasn't really interested. And I went and done some work for her. This is not a woman I see all the time, but fairly here and there. Went and done some work for her a week and a half ago. And the first thing she said when I pulled up there is, she said she hadn't watched my videos yet. I was like, oh, okay, no big deal. It's all right, whatever. And no, it wasn't a big deal. Honestly, if she didn't want to, I kind of wish she was just told me she didn't want to. But this is how life works. I'm not, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I don't give a shit. I'm noticing things. Okay, just noticing things. That's it. I'm not putting her down or anything. She's a very good person. So then I ran into her yesterday. It was complete coincidence. I went out to eat. Don't know why. I shouldn't have fucking went out. I ain't got the goddamn. Well, I don't have the money. I mean, I do, but I don't. I don't know. I decided to fucking go out to eat. I wanted to go to the bank. I needed to go to the bank, and I was like, I'm not gonna go to the bank. I don't have any reason to go to town. And I was like, well, fuck. Go out and give me a bite to eat too. So, and I needed to pick up some tools for my tile to keep working on laying my tile. Um, so I stopped in this restaurant, and I'm in there just by myself eating. There was like nobody else there. See, this stuff, like, I don't know. This stuff is not random. You can call it coincidence because they say a coincidence is a um, created incident. Okay. So you say it was God or it was me. It was a little bit of both. My choices and her choices and life guiding things. All right, God guiding things or whatever. Um, I was sitting in there, completely empty restaurant, Mexican restaurant. Nobody was in there, and I just happened to look out the window and saw her vehicle, or saw that vehicle. I was like, looks like her vehicle. And I got to looking. And at first, I was like, yeah, it's not her. There's a girl in the seat. I thought it was a girl in the passenger seat. Uh, if they watch this, I hope Tobias didn't get mad at me or nothing. All I could see was just like the top of his head, long hair. So I was like, oh, I think it's a girl. And then he popped his head up and was like, oh, no, that's just Tobias. I said, that is them. Um, so then they come on in the restaurant there, and again, she walked over, and the first thing she done, she was excited. She was like, "Oh, I didn't know you was in here. I just watched one of your videos," and she's like, "Oh, good for you." And I don't know if she knew I was in there or not. My vehicle, my truck was like the only one in the parking lot. She knows my truck. Maybe she didn't see it, and maybe she was completely innocent in her actions, but the feelings that I got, or how I feel about it, is like she knew I was in there. She went and picked one of my videos, one of the later ones I watched or made, but I think it was a short one. One of my short ones, like a 4 minute video or something. She said she watched one of my cooking videos while I was cooking. And yeah, um, I got three of them. No, I don't. I only have two. And the one, I'm pretty sure the one she watched in particular was like the shortest one. See, yeah, I don't know. I feel like she was just being like a typical mother to her kids. She was like, "Oh yeah, that's real cool. That's nice. Yeah, good job." And just doing what a woman uh, would do, or should do, just being a woman. Um, but I don't know. To me, I don't know. I ain't gonna say she should have done any differently. I think maybe that's just how it should have been. I recognize that though myself. Whether that was her purposely, whether she innocently done that and didn't know I was in there and that's just the way it happened, or whether she done it purposely because she's a woman and that's just what women do, doesn't matter. That was me noticing how the feminine side of life is changing with me. So I kind of got myself up and running with the videos, and I kind of broke away from women. I broke away from, I would say, maybe my feminine side, in a way. My need for that attention or whatever, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why. That was like the last. I haven't really felt the need for attention on these videos and stuff. I get views and I'm starting to get likes on them and stuff. But it doesn't, like, I don't know. It doesn't really empower me. Um, I like it. I like reaching out and connecting with people. I like when people watch my stuff, but I can't say that it really empowers me. And I don't know why I've done that with her. I think also maybe partially because she has a son. When I was working for her a week and a half ago, she has a son who's getting to the age. I heard her talking with her mom. Or no, not her mom. There's some other people we went and done some work for together. That she thinks he is getting up to the age of he needs to get a job and stuff. So he's going through a transition period there. Um, physically growing up and spiritually, just as a kid growing and developing. Me, I am, I guess, maybe going through that I'm at the same place in the process as him there, and so I don't know. I just notice things like that all the time. That's kind of how God works. It brings you to the people and the situations and stuff you're in, you find yourself in around you. The things that happen around you are directly correlated to what's going on inside of you. Um, and she come in, she's like done all that. Hey, I'm glad you, good for you, and da da da. And I was just like, oh yeah. I don't know. It didn't do anything for me, man. I was like, yeah, okay. Um, and I don't know if that's because it was kind of fake on her part. If it was fake on her part, it's because it was fake on my part. Um, so I don't blame nobody for nothing. Everything I see in somebody else is teaches me about something going on inside of me, a reflection of my own internal process and journey and shit. Like she wouldn't have treated me that way if I hadn't acted the way I acted by wanting her to watch a video and stuff, acting like a kid about it. And I don't even know why. I get around certain people and I act certain ways or say certain things, and I'm not even sure why I do it all the time. Honestly, it's to me the best. It's just God. It's like there's a higher nature, instinct, and intuition inside of myself that knows what I need to do. For one, to help them out for some reason or another, and also to help me out. That's what the Bible means, or people mean when they say God is always working things. He's always bringing everything, every tiny little thing that is happening in life is always shaping and forming and bringing things into a uh, more beautiful existence. Okay, bringing healing and good things to us. If you're out of alignment with that, you're in the evil side of life, then bad things are happening. You're creating bad things and destruction and pain and suffering. Okay, man, my damn finger's itching there. I'm scratching it with my beard. I'm not scratching my chin. I got a cut. I got a little scrape on my finger. I can't even, I don't know what the hell I've done. I've been rough on myself lately, man. Same thing happened to last year. Uh, Around this time, me and Max were in a separation process. We done them physically separated, but we were still talking lots of bad shit. But my fingers got very, very rough, like they were back before me and her ever got together. I used to be a very rough, rugged man. My hands were always rough, and my fingers, like my what's it called, your cuticles around there, were always rough looking and stuff. Well, that's just my thumb at the moment. You can't really see. Kind of hard to see there, huh? Well, that's fucked up. I smashed my damn thumb, and my fingernail kind of fucked up, or my thumbnail come off on me there a little bit. So that's one reason it looks fucked up. I was trying to show you my cuticle, but they get cracks and stuff in them. So last year I was very rough and rugged. This year it kind of happened to me again. It wasn't as bad. But yeah, I used to damn cut myself and beat myself up all the time. When I connected to God, that shit did not happen. Okay? It didn't happen. It was like I was completely aware of every single tiny detail going on within me and what I was doing in my body and the things around me. I was completely, entirely aware. And that's what allowed me, that was me being connected to God, and what allowed me to have so much power and control of life, shaping and guiding life, guiding my conversations with people and stuff, and how it went. Working with materials and stuff. It was as if I knew. I knew what I was able to do and what I couldn't do, and I could lead and guide the situation in the direction I wanted to. I wanted it to go. That is a godly man. Now, life will not bless you with that power unless you have earned. You gotta earn that. You have to earn that. And fuck, it's a lot. It seems harder this time than it was last time. But like I said before, the last time I didn't even know what the fuck I was doing. I was ignorant. I just ignorantly stumbled upon it. Now I consciously have to do it, and I guess it's going much faster, but at the same time, it's just harder. Just is. Anybody that understands knows what I'm talking about. You understand. You either know or you don't know. Okay. Um, when you become consciously aware of your pain and suffering, um, it becomes kind of more difficult in a way. It's not really, but it seems like it is because you're aware of it all of a sudden. Okay. So you're aware of your struggles. Let me put it that way. You could be struggling. But if you're not aware of it, or if you feel like inside you have no other fucking choice whatsoever, and you're just doing the same thing you've always done, that's natural to you, then it's like, oh, whatever. You may know that you're suffering, but it's like a fish in water, okay? Um, That's just normal to you. But once you say fish and water, that's not a good analogy. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's like a fish born on land who's never been in water and he doesn't somehow is surviving on fucking land. He's dying, but he's surviving. Okay, well then once you enter into consciousness, it's kind of like he fucking enters into some fresh water and gets a taste of. When I found God, it was like, oh, I found some fresh water, man. And I got a taste of what life was supposed to be like, you know, for me. And then I don't know what the fuck happened. I threw myself back out of water onto the land. I made wrong choices, dumb choices or something, and ended up back in hell. And that's just part of it. I don't know. I think that's just part of the damn process. The Bible talks about it. We all are going to sin, give in to temptation, and fall short of the glory of God or whatever. Well, just because you fall don't mean you can't get back up again. Okay, yeah, you might fall, but that doesn't mean that you have to label yourself as a low down sinner who's worthless and can never reach the level of God. You can, you should. If you keep trying, get back up. You fall, you get your ass back up and keep going. Just like a kid, just like a baby. Okay, so I was talking about the woman and that feminine side of life. There's kind of I feel like I'm cutting a cord there or something. Um, I don't know. I don't need that attention. I don't need that feminine approval, the encouragement and cheerleading, I guess, or whatever. I'm learning to do that for myself. Okay. So when I got together with my ex, one thing that I done to clean myself up, I literally took sandpaper because I'm a fucking rough, rugged man, and I sanded my hands down to get them smooth and shit. And I don't know, over time, my fingers and my hands smoothed up, and my cuticles cleaned up. It was like she had some magic touch, that feminine touch, and she smoothed me over and cleaned me up. Okay. Well, now I'm having to learn to do these things for myself. I found that good, fresh side of life, that perfect balance of feminine and masculine that made me wholesome. I become wholesome, and that's what allowed me to connect to God. That's what connecting to God is. You're a wholesome being in touch with your feminine and masculine nature and have perfect balance between the two energies because we all are composed of both energies, positive and negative, and you have a neutral. Okay. So, really and truly, maybe getting in touch with God is getting in touch with that neutral energy, is becoming that neutral energy. Because, see, everything revolves around that neutral energy. Protons and electrons revolve around neutrons, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of like everything revolving around the sun. But then again, you could say, is that the neutral energy or is that the positive energy? Depends on how you want to look at it and break it down. Okay. Uh, for the sake of this, we're going to stick with neutral. um, So once you become that godly energy, that neutral energy or whatever, that actually allows you the ability to guide things, to be anything you. And neutral energy carries positive and a negative energy within it. Everything that it needs. So it can be whatever it needs to be whenever it needs to be it. So you could consider yourself to be a neutral energy or the entire atom of neutrons, electrons, and protons. Or the entire universe. So that's probably a great way of explaining it, okay? But when I say it depends on how you look at it, because, let's say an atom is this big. You can be a god. God is infinite, right? So God is tiny, the size of an atom. Or also, I wish I could give you all a good, great big motherfucking circle, the universe. All right, an atom has positive and negative and neutral things within it. Okay, but the atom as a whole is just one single whole thing composed of everything. Um, So you could say the atom itself is kind of like a wholesome neutron. I would imagine. They say there's this thing now called the God particle. It's even smaller than the atom. So that means that protons, electrons, and neutrons must be made up of these God particles. Okay. So if you take the neutron in itself and you zoom all the way in on it, it would probably be a completely wholesome individual unit composed of positive and negative God particles or something. And that's how we are as people. You are composed of absolutely everything as an individual person. When you get connected to all that everything that's inside of you, you also connect to the everything that's outside of you. All that energy unifies and unites and comes together in marriage. So I'm learning to bring in my own feminine side back into me, taking care of myself and doing the things that I used to do for her. Now I'm just trying to do them just simply for myself, just for me, just because that's what I need to do to get myself back to God. Okay. Um, so it's a bitch. It's a process, man. It's a process. How fast you go through it, that depends on you. It's not something you can rush. You have to do it right. So it still depends on you. Like, I don't know. Some people go through it quickly. Some people not quickly at all. We all. I'm not going to. I'm not going to get into that. Okay. For some people, it takes years. I've heard of it taking 10 years. People going through what they call the darkness before they come into the light or complete light, complete harmony and connection of God. So I've heard of it, taking 2 to 4 years or something. It takes time. It takes time. You're not gonna. You might snap your fingers and do it. Somebody in the world maybe has done it that way. I don't know. I guess Christ could heal people. Um, if they believed, but only if they believed and had faith. So it wasn't just completely dependent upon Christ. It was also the other person. How much faith and belief do you have in yourself? It takes time to build up faith and belief and trust within yourself. That's why the Bible is a span of thousands of years. And God still doesn't have perfect trust and harmony with humanity. So you're trying to build up trust and harmony with yourself. Now, not everybody is made for you. Not everybody is made for you. This is a very, very key point. If you want to get to know yourself and become a godlike person, you have to accept the fact that not everybody is going to fit with you. God even realized this. He used to destroy those people that did not fit in with him back in the Old Testament. But as Christ comes along, he quit doing that. He quit destroying them, and he just says, Christ makes a statement in Revelations, I believe it says, or maybe it's not. I don't know if it's the Revelations or one of the other books. It's something that Christ said in the Bible. I don't remember where. It says that the ones that love him are the ones that obey and follow his commandments. Okay. So I think it's mighty damn funny these days how we women, they're all about, oh God and the Bible and Jesus Christ will save you and stuff, yeah, and Christians and stuff. But I'm mainly referring to a lot of women here. Um, they talk about that stuff with Christ, but then they're ever really so quick to call a man oppressive, controlling, and a narcissist just because he says, if you're going to live in my house, you're going to live by my rules, my laws, my authority. I expect you to obey my authority. That's what Christ says. He says, I expect you to obey my authority. That's what God says. I expect you to obey my authority. That's what God is. There's an order and authority aspect within God. So it just blows my mind. What the fuck's up with you women? Why, y'all need to get your shit together. That's why I say women are not just women, but a large portion of society, but the large portion of society has become feminine. The feminine energy of life is fucking corrupted, man. It's hypocritical. It's not rational, logical. Okay, it's out of balance by itself. So I don't know. It's just one thing I really wanted to hit on there. I've been going through darkness. Like I said, I think I've been going through my heart, trying to open my mind up, and this is maybe this is a sign that I'm moving on through my heart and on up towards my head. Being disconnected from these women and stuff. Or disconnecting myself from them. It's like she was doing what a mother does. She was like, "Oh yeah, I love you." Don't matter how old a kid gets, a mother's going to do that if he acts that way. It is up to you as if you're a man or a boy or whatever. A boy or women do it too. Girls, they will cut themselves off from their parents, and parents these days have a very difficult time with that because. Parents these days have a very difficult time with the cord cutting between themselves and their children uh, because they're not wholesome, healthy, healed individuals. They're having kids. When they had kids, they was unhealthy. They had addictions of some sort or another. Okay, they were not godly individuals. A godly individual is a wholesome individual all on their own. So this includes men and women. Men are wholesome on their own when they're godly. Women are wholesome on their own when they're godly. Doesn't matter if you're in a relationship or not. Okay? Now, if you are in a relationship and you want it to last and be good, you have to develop these individual qualities of yourself, these godly aspects. But your individual is your own parts, but you also have to have a third thing to revolve around. Neutrons, protons, and electrons. So God is the third point to hold a relationship together. You have to. It also makes your relationship wholesome. Your relationship is one wholesome unit. Okay. In order to have a wholesome unit, you have to have three parts, at least three parts. Now, if so a kid, a lot of times people stay together as a man, woman, and a child. But here's the thing: if that's all you have, if you don't have God or Christ or some other aspect, some other part of life, then when that kid grows up, one of two things is going to happen. You're either going to lock that child down and it's not going to be able to leave your family, which you're going to oppress that child, or when that child will get tired of it and it's going to break away one way or another. So when that child does that, it's going to rip y'all apart, and y'all aren't going to have balance amongst yourselves again. Boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband, wife, whatever, man and woman. So this is all just kind of knowledge too. Like, this is to help you figure out what you want in life. I'm not telling you how to live your life. There's an infinite different ways of living a godly life and being a godly person and having godly relationships. You don't have to be married to have godly relationships. You can literally just run around and fuck women and still be a man of God, man or woman, or even be a woman running around with fucking guys, I guess, and be I don't know if that works the same way for women or not, honestly. To be God, I guess it does. I'm not going to say it doesn't. Sure, you can. Sure. Um, I don't know. I'm not a woman. You have to ask a woman that. Um, but if you're going to do that, you have to be a wholesome individual. See, the problem these days with the sex and everything is people running around doing that stuff, but they're not wholesome individuals. They're doing that because it's an addiction, most of them. So if you're going to do that and be a godly person, it has to be something that you just simply just a pleasure life. It can't be an addiction. It cannot be an actual support system that helps you through life. Okay, if it is, then that's an addiction. Um, you're not whole and healed and healthy on your own. If you was whole and healthy and healed on your own, I really have to ask myself, would you really be doing that? I mean, maybe, but it's extremely unlikely or less likely. The percentage of people that would actually do that is far, far less than the percentage of people that are actually doing that currently. Okay. Just like drugs and TV and a lot of other shit. Me, I have goddamn shit I struggle with too. Well, attention used to be one of them. Doing these videos, I kind of needed or wanted attention. You can say wanted, but also needed. It was part of what helped me to grow and develop myself. So, maybe it was I can't say it was an addiction. It was something I started, and I don't know. Once I started it kind of was an addiction. I've done it every day. It's hard to say. It's yes and no, and that's because I'm breaking away from addiction. So I still got some there, but breaking away from it, healing myself. So it's yes and no. I guess you could say it's an addiction, kind of like a medicine type of addiction, like a drug that eases the pain, that helps you to heal and become wholesome. Um, now these videos, I like doing these videos for myself first, but then also for y'all. And, I think the more that I heal and become wholesome, the more other people will actually watch my videos, and I will detach from needing the video, but maybe other people will attach to my videos because they need them for healing purposes and stuff. So it's not that I'm going to stop making videos. I mean, I could, maybe, I don't know. I like talking. I like talking about this stuff. Helping the world heal. I like healing myself, but then also helping the world to heal. So, now how by doing whatever I think I need to do to do that. If I feel like I need to stop talking and that the world is better off not listening to me, I guess that's what I'd do. But you're going to talk. We're all made to talk. That's why we have voice, and hell, that's talking is interacting and life. It's life. So I'm not going to stop talking. Probably not going to stop making video. I don't know. I don't know. I can't say. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. Everything I'm doing revolves around life. It's all about life. I will never stop talking, but maybe start talking in a different way. Maybe I'll just do public speaking or something, or maybe I'll get away from that and I'll have a wife and kids, and then my talking will go to them. Probably not. I can't imagine turning away from the world for. If I turn away from the world for my wife and my kid, not. Well, I could. I probably would for a time. I don't know. That's getting. See, we're getting into fucking confusion shit. I'm trying to predict shit that I don't need to be predicting. I don't know the damn future. So, been going through my heart, a lot of darkness, a lot of confusion. Don't always know where the fuck I'm at. Even this conversation here, I'm very, very in the moment with very little awareness of what's ahead of me or what's behind me as far as speaking. So it's like I don't necessarily remember. I can't remember this whole conversation. I went through a whole fucking list of different things in this conversation. And I remember certain aspects of it, but I can't remember the whole fucking thing. I always have to go back and watch my videos in order to try to come up with a title and to before I upload them and everything. Now, once I get through my heart and get on into my head and start clearing that thing out and getting it working properly, I'll be able to, should be able to pretty much remember, be aware, consciously aware of everything, where I'm coming from in the conversation, as well as where I'm going. So at the moment, I'm having to move with my heart. I can't see with my eyes. I haven't got them completely open yet. My third eye in here is not completely open. But my heart is opened up very well. And that shows with this puzzle I've been doing, this 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle I've talked about in my videos. I used to, back when I was connected to God, my woman was with me, the way that I used to, me and her started this. And the way I used to put this puzzle together was by studying each fucking piece with my eyes and then looking at the picture on the box and looking at the goddamn tiniest of fucking details, because buddy, it's a bitch. When you're trying to do it that way, you gotta fucking notice the utmost tiniest of fucking details. You really gotta fucking get in there and look at the son of a bitch, man, and study it and study it and study it. Here's the thing, the more you look at it and the more you study it, the more your heart gets a feel for it as well. So it's like my mind and my heart working together, my eyes and my vision and my feeling senses. So there are sometimes I come in here, I use my eyes because I'm awakening. Going through my heart is also awakening. Everything's connected. It's all connected. Awakening my eye at the same time, but things aren't clear up here. They're coming clearer in here. So sometimes I come in here and I study. I'll study each fucking piece because that's what I have to do. I'll study and look and put one little piece here and then a piece here, and it'll take a lot of time trying to open this thing up and notice, to actually see all the details and see what's going on. And sometimes I gotta quit looking at the tiny details and look at the bigger details. Look at the shades of color of the picture and the puzzle and the pieces and do it that way. So sometimes you gotta zoom in, look really close. Sometimes you zoom back, zoom out, and not look so much. Sometimes I kind of just have a feel for shit, and I'm like, I'll just look over and see a piece, and I'm like, okay, and I'll kind of take it over to the puzzle, and I'll kind of like scan around the puzzle with my finger, like, oh, feels like right there, and that's it, man. So that's my head and my heart working together to get a damn puzzle finished. As well as my hands and my body and everything. It's using everything. Sometimes I come in, like I said, it's just one fucking piece here and there at a time. It takes a long time. Sometimes I can come in and it's like things just fall together, dude. I place lots of damn pieces in at once. As a matter of fact, over the last few days, just over the last 3-4 days, I've filled in all this rock. I filled in a large section of my mountains here. I completed my rocks, my mountains, and my wolf here. And look at that. That's perfect representation of what's going on. So I went through my foundation. I'm trying to think what the first thing I completed was. The first thing I completed actually was the rocks. And I didn't do that on purpose. That's just the way it worked out. I started with the wolf. I had a lot of the wolf done. I had, this was an empty section in the wolf, and I had some missing pieces here and here, one or two in the legs. I got tired. Well, I started with the mount, kind of the wolf and the mountain. I don't remember which I started with first. I've moved around amongst these three things. Okay, the wolf, the mountains, and the rocks. But ultimately, what I completed first was the rocks. That was the first thing I completed. And then the mountains. And then the wolf. Okay. So I completed my foundation. You got to start at the bottom and work your way up. I completed my foundation. Down my asshole. Talked about chakras. It's been a while since I talked about chakras. Your sitting bones. Okay. Your foundation there. and come on up through, I guess maybe you say the mountains is like my stomach or something, you know, my midsection there. And the wolf, the lone wolf, I guess you could say that's like my heart. Okay, so I got that completed, and now I'm working on completing the sky. So the rest of the upper section. Um, the wolf. Why is the wolf the heart? I'm kind of curious about that. I guess it makes sense. See the earth, the rocks and the mountains, and the earth is the foundation. Okay. Um, and your root chakra, actually, your stomach and your gut is your root chakra. Um, your heart's called your solar plexus. It has other names too. Um, but I guess you know your heart's right there on the earth. It is the surface of the earth, maybe, I guess, or you know, they say you wear women they wear their heart on their sleeve. Um, so I guess that's where our love is at. Inside the earth is just darkness. It's dark soil, and that's what nurtures and grows our love. But then we see it on the surface. It walks around in the form of animals, or it grows in the form of trees, or it is in the form of the beautiful mountains and stuff. Um, so you can say, you know, that's your heart pumps blood all throughout your body. It moves around. It, you know, is I guess a source of life or something. I don't know. I don't know exactly how that would connect well in there. It works in my mind, but being able to explain it to y'all is another thing. And that's part of what I'm doing here. By talking to y'all, I'm trying to explain everything that's going on inside myself. This is going to allow me to harmonize myself, to get to know myself, and what I'm talking about. So I'm developing my speech. That's another thing. You got your heart chakra, your throat chakra, and your third eye, and then your crown. So I'm kind of developing the upper section, all of this all at once now. Um, I guess the wolf could represent a lot of things. My heart, also my voice. I'm a lone wolf. Here I am by myself making videos. I ain't even got many people watching. Occasionally I make a short where people come and watch. But the lengthy videos I make, people aren't watching because they're not interested in me yet because I'm not wholesome and connected to myself the way that I should be. When I become wholesome, whenever I get there, people will naturally follow along with me because it is in our godly nature, our highest inherent nature, to follow wholesome, healthy people. Why? Because we want to be wholesome, healthy people. Okay? So, this journey, what I'm doing, everything, it's not about me and attention. It never has been, and I've always known that, but there was an attention aspect in there that I had to go through. I had to acknowledge that and be patient with it and go through it. Because there's that side, that unhealed side of me that wanted attention or wanted drugs or it wanted porn and sex, you know. Wanted all those things that were holding me back in life, keeping me from being wholesome and connecting to God. Opening into my potential. So, like I said, I've been in the darkness, the damn work, you know, for income, money and income and stuff is really slowed down. I haven't had shit lately, actually. I kind of need something. But I don't know. Maybe that's something I'm going to have to go through too. I've dealt with financial struggles in the past and everything. Not having money, I've never really had a lot of money, but I've always been able to pay my bills. At the moment, I'm 2 months late on a bill, and I didn't even realize it. Well, I'm 1 month late. Like I didn't pay last month, and I got to pay this month, and I'm going to. You know, I got the money. I'll get that paid. But that's the first time, maybe second time. I don't know if I've ever done that before. Just my property payment. And I always remember that, but I didn't remember it this time. So, and I'm very tight on money, so I have the money, but gotta scrape it up there maybe. I can't even say that. It ain't like I'd be scraping pennies, but scraping dollars out of the bank account. I got my own business and taxes and stuff coming up, and I don't know. I'm getting down low on funds to a place that I have not been to and ever really, because I've never been in a position like this where I didn't know if money was going to come in or not. Um, I can't say that I have, but I haven't. I've been here before, but it's different this time. Okay, so it's not that I'm worrying about it, but it is something that I'll have to deal with one way or another. Okay. Um, Money's always come in one way or another. Things always get taken care of. And if it doesn't, it'll be a lesson that I need to learn. Something that I need to learn there. You have to go through your wounds. That means going through pain and suffering. Um, the things you're afraid of in life, you actually have to accept them and kind of let them happen. Because that's what builds trust with yourself, trust with life, trust with God. That is what will allow you to quit worrying about shit like that. Um, so I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna go through here. We'll see. I guess I'm gonna get off here. Been talking a long time. More for myself than anybody else. I don't. At least at the moment, I don't see anybody watching these videos after I become wholesome and healthy and healed, and you know, uh, become wholesome. And after all that happens, then I can see all these old videos that I'm making right now that aren't getting any attention. And maybe they would come out into the works then. But at the moment, they're all in, for the most part, kind of darkness. There's few here and there watching them, but for the most part, they're in darkness. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I'm gonna get off here, and I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do today. It kind of feels like a day of sitting around. I don't think I'm gonna eat. Kind of like a fasting day. I'm gonna turn my phone back off. I had my phone off and Wi-Fi and everything kind of disconnecting from the internet and media and all that other stuff. Even at the moment, I have my Wi-Fi off, so I don't really have service. I got one phone call. I might go call them because it could be work. I don't know who it was. It was just a number. I have to call them and see. Could be a scam or random bullshit too. That's it. I'm gone. Bye. I love y'all. Take care.